This feels weird. This feels weird, doesn't it? Going back to this. Hey, Shay. Hey, Ran. Okay, alright, okay, alright. Looks like everybody's in. Taking a little sippy sip of a drink. Let me higher up this volume a little bit. Nothing too much, but you know, we need our ambient music. Hey Mike, enjoy your lurk. Let me get rid of this. Gotta organize some stuff. It has been quite a long time. Couple of months since we actually played a game, so this is gonna be a little side game. And it should be hopefully pretty fun. I think the perspective time frame is we are going to let me brighten that up a little bit. We're going to have a little bit of a lax-ish time setting up some stuff this go about, and then we'll see how hairy it gets when it comes down to our second part, because I planned for this roughly to be 2-parters. I am live. Epic, I am live. I'm literally live right now. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What is your problem? Okay. Zarm is there. Everybody's there. Okay, cool. I came for the gameplay. There's no gameplay by. Oh, okay. All right. Bye, Ren. Bye forever. You nerd. All right. Let's hop in. I'm gonna check some volume ranges.
Appreciate the offer.
My YouTube feed, on a quick side tangent here, my YouTube feed has been filled with videos today of people saving fucking animals, and I am in my feels, and I hate it.
Sorry, I had to call the special hotline so I could have that tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to pay for it, but let me tell you what. I will definitely pay $200 to have that taken care of ASAP.
Oh my god.
Holy
man.
shit.
You are fucking. Don't ask. Don't ask.
It's a yoga mat. It's fine.
Yeah, quote unquote yoga.
No, it really is a yoga mat.
It is a yoga mat. It really is.
And there's something about killing Peter Parker for some reason. I'm
What?
still hung up on that. I'm still
no.
hung up on that
Well,
one.
I'm gonna send you the link, Cannon, because you know what? I don't think anyone else will. So give me one
I would.
second. I know you would, because you sent it to me.
And winged.
It's,
Yeah.
You're just being very helpful.
And got me to bot it. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, help me out through the entire conversation to get it, you know? Just saying.
I'm not gonna have full volume on this, but so it's warming, eh?
That's what I
think it's
thought, but
warming.
no.
I don't
No,
think it's
it's not
warming,
warming.
but it's as opposed to like trying to do this on tile
Okay, that's fair.
Like,
or a
that's the
mirror.
typical thing. Yeah, like that's what you typically would end up doing, like on the tile floor or the bottom of a bathtub, about a half an hour ago and having no success. I'm just saying.
Jesus.
It might be oddly specific, but don't matter. I'm just saying. I paid for the ultra speed shipping.
Gotcha. Amazon
Yoga
Prime.
mat.
Amazon Prime.
It's actually not as expensive as I thought it was going to be, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's surprisingly affordable.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Listen,
I figured I knew about this,
Thank you.
and I figured I would
You-
just share the
fucking A.
knowledge.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
guys can't pipe. It's not a pipeable day.
Mhm. Oh, okay, so I might have been drinking a little.
Yeah,
That's
I know,
okay.
ma'am. I know you. I know when you've been drinking.
A tiny bit. Just a little.
No, it's not a play. Sorry, I'm yelling at Rin. It's not
Wait,
a
are we
no.
posting silicone art in DMs and not posting them?
No, they have to be in the other.
Yeah,
other-
that's what I was saying. Is that the other Discord? What is this?
Did Rin apply? I
Maddie,
don't think she.
no,
I don't
here,
think she did.
I'm gonna clear it up for you.
No. In stream.
Oh, yeah, okay.
She wasn't gonna play this one. Hence why I wasn't gonna show that Twitter video on stream.
Oh, you're
would've been
streaming right
fine.
now. Are you
Yeah.
streaming right now?
I do.
Can I have a link so I can throw
Yeah.
up a shout out for you?
Sure.
I don't know if you know, but I happen to be a streamer too.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, better plug your stream on the other one.
All right. Let me
Plug
tell
each
you.
other's streams. Ooh.
I'm so plugged.
What is this? Yeah, you
Let me-
sent me surfing.
let me plug you.
Oh.
I need the link so that way I can throw it up in my Discord. So
I'm trying.
You're
I'm a
welcome.
slow hold man.
Come on, give it to me, God.
Wow. Whoa.
I'm
That's
nowhere
not what I
near you.
meant.
I love how their
Oh,
fucking
wait.
I love how their Twitter handle is tomboy titties.
Oh my God. Okay,
God
you
damn
have
Oh, yeah.
do you- what is your Discord's or not your Discord? What's your stream's name? What are you calling it?
It's to cannon fodder.
Oh no.
Here,
Like, well, you talking about the title for it right now, or?
Yeah, I'm putting it on here so you'll see an ad here in my Discord.
Oh well, this is usually like titled the Book of Seorsum. It's on the like the title of the Discord.
Okay.
Just as a short and skinny of what the plan roughly is, we'll get a couple hours in. We'll try to kind of establish everybody, because I want everybody to kind of introduce each other and kind of like how we normally do it in these types of games. And if it ends up being a 2, maybe 3-parter, I don't expect it to be a 3-parter, but this will at least be a 2-parter, and it'll still fit into the grand scheme of things. So it should be pretty fun. Greetings, Morgan. But yeah, I will set up whatever needs to be set up, and then we'll go from there. Any other hot topics to get out of our system before we get into anything?
I won't say anything else because I don't want to what's the word I'm looking for? Get you banned.
I mean, it's whatever.
I mean, because I had a very interesting afternoon.
And more cops on all fours.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
I didn't have the cops. Okay.
She didn't deny it. She didn't say no.
You guys want to hear the story about how I had the police officer on his knees in front of me? I will tell you, if you want.
Is this stream appropriate?
It is very, very inappropriate. Okay, so I got a new job, and so I'm a banker in the reality, and so I work for a bank, and I work part-time, so I'm looking to be a full-time streamer, or excuse me, a full-time streamer. Yes, I want to be a full-time streamer. I want to be a full-time banker so I can make more money, because hell, I like money. So what I ended up doing was I went and applied for another banker position in another branch, in another banking department, like another bank for another company. And I got offered the opportunity, so I had to go get my fingerprints done. So I went to the jail. So I come into Discord.
As you said, that's where the cops live.
That's where the cops live. I said I went to where the cops live in the jail. And it's not true. I'm not a dumbass, I swear. So we go over, and I go over there and I pay my little $80, and they do my fingerprints. And the gentleman that was the officer that was taking care of me, he was very sweet. We were very nice, and I was like, I'm so sorry that I'm so nice. I'm so happy right now. I'm really sorry, because he felt like it looked like he was like bummed out. And I was like, I'm really sorry. I'm really happy right now. And he's like, no, it's a breath of fresh air. Not many people in this building are really happy. I was like thinking to myself, oh shit, it's a fucking jail.
Yeah.
There's only naughty people here. So, with that said, I ended up was waiting, and then the printer that prints the fingerprints, because I do it all digitally, stopped working. It turned off. So he had to get on his hands and knees to get underneath the cupboard to shut it off. And so I was talking to a friend of mine who lives in Germany. He's a fireman. You know who he is. You know, Moritz, Batty. And he was like, he was talking about how it was how the printers are the bane of all people who work in public service, like police officers, firemen, and stuff. And then I told him that he was on his knees, and he's like, "God damn, you got him on his knees? How long were you in there? 10 minutes?" I said, "Not even."
Some people just don't take too long. It's fine.
I mean, he was
weak.
mhm,
Weak.
the force was strong with this one. Yeah, I had him on his knees. It was pretty great, though. He was nice.
Hope so.
Married, or I would have hit on the poor man, but no. I was like, "Aw, so sad. I like a man in uniform." Oh well. Sorry, Cannon.
It's fine. Sometimes you just gotta break the ice a little bit with, again, cops on their knees. Hands and knees, I'll say that.
Oh yeah, he was on his hands and knees. He was
Hell
fighting
yeah.
with this printer, and like he was on his hands and knees fighting, and I was just like, "Oh my god." And he looked up at me on his hands and knees, and he's like, "I'm sorry, ma'am," and I'm just like, "Oh god, you can't do that to me." I'm literally shuddering, going, "You can't talk to me like that, officer." No.
Jeez.
This is a thing for me. You need to not do that.
Whoa.
So, it was fun. I enjoyed myself. It was great. I
Good.
had a hard ride home.
I'm gonna take the side roads for it's extra bumpy.
Did some laundry, if you know what I mean, when I got home.
Jeez. All right. So Braddy, you're enjoying this, right?
I'm here.
Dice of cringe. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, a little
Sorry,
bit.
Batty.
All right. Well, with that in mind, we can get started. So the main premise around obviously these side stories, as like a brief reminder, is that these are side little stories, adventures that happen alongside of our main campaign, and they do tend to have some kind of impact or influence on the two major groups right now that do their things. And for those that don't know, Stinky, who is somewhat of a player in the major city that we're playing out of called Salus, is an individual who hires other individuals to do things for him on occasion. And this side story is involving one of them. It's called The Particular Package, and you've all been reached out in one way, shape, or form to be hired for this particular job. So, in order to break the ice a little bit more, at least in character, if you wouldn't mind, we'll go down the list. We'll start with Serpent. We'll have like a brief discussion about just your characters, because I think everybody is playing pretty much a new character. Even if you are in a main campaign, you're playing a new character. So let's get a short description and just a little tidbit about your character.
Well, out of one of the smaller tunnels leading into wherever Stinky's where is Stinky having us meet?
You're gonna get notes. I'll set up the exposition here in a little bit, but
Okay.
You're familiar with Salus. Like your character would be familiar with Salus.
Is slipping out of an alleyway that shouldn't logically it's squeezing between a couple buildings. You think maybe a child could fit through there, but instead what comes out is a 7'2", 274-pound furry monster. Black hair, pointed ears, dressed in chainmail, the glaive slung behind his back. Bill Grods, this bugbear, and kind of walks with a sort of like a mildly swaying gait. seems very confident and composed about where he's going. Often has a grin on his face. And he moves pretty much with very purposeful intention toward where he's going. And doesn't seem to really care much. He's like, he kind of slips between buildings and other things, and doesn't seem to really care. He seems like he goes in a singular direction. He doesn't take a whole lot of side paths because he just rather make a direct approach.
Roger that. And Bill's a bugbear.
He is a bugbear fighter.
How does he look?
Couple hand axes. What?
How does he look?
He looks big and bulky, fuzzy. He's got long, lanky arms and a little bit of a hunch to him, but it seems it's mostly just kind of like squeezing through stuff. Like I said, he's got a glaive, a couple of hand axes strapped to his belt, and he also has a quiver of javelins. Especially like when he's definitely going on like a hunt or a job, he definitely has a bunch of equipment carried on him stashed around him in various spots.
All right, cool. So very prepared for whatever may be thrown his way.
Whatever might be thrown his way, he seems to be quite prepared for a variety of things, and probably violence.
I forgot. Bill was planning to be part of Aces too, right?
He was. He actually does work with the Aces as well, just to
Okay.
get some extra cash. So he's. But it's like, if boss needs him to do something, he'll go do it.
Gotcha. So definitely a more of a direct employment with Stinky and his area, but obviously like most people that are quote unquote directly employed via Stinky are kind of up to their own devices, unless there is a major job that needs to be had, which obviously there is.
Yeah. So he thinks of Stinky as boss. He left his previous crew and he works for Stinky, but hey, if there's Ace's jobs out there, he's ready to go kill something.
Yeah. All right. Now what about Miss Morgan?
Wait, me?
Yes.
Yes, you.
Okay, so me. Hi, I'm Morgan. It's nice to meet you. I'm an elf. I'm a rogue, and I'm an elf. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know anything else about me. So Morgan is a high elf rogue who is an urchin. She's an orphan. She's lived in the city her whole life. She's stolen art pieces and various different museum pieces. Like, she doesn't get her hands dirty in the way of like an assassin might, or like a real thief would skulk around and knock people out or try to kill people. No, she doesn't want to do anything along those lines. She literally does everything in her power to be unseen or to leave no trace that she was even there. She's your typical what you would expect for a rogue. Dresses in full leather armor. It's like black with, because she's rubbed it down with charcoal. She has long black hair that she keeps braided that goes down to the middle of her back, and very bright blue eyes. And yeah, she's a rogue, and she sounds like me because I can't do cool voices.
That's okay.
Hi, nice to meet you guys.
Just as an aside, you don't have to do, whatever voices. You could always there's no pressure to have to put on anything extra. We do RP here, but it's not like you don't. Serpent does a good job of putting on voices. I think really Serpent does the most as far as like unique voices are concerned, but everybody kind of just does their own thing.
Happy to do whatever I can.
So yeah, she is who she is, and she's a mystery. The only thing is that she has from her past is a ring that she doesn't know what it is, but she's had it since she was an infant, and she grew up in the Thieves Guild, and yeah, so that's all she knows is just work and staying out of trying to not get in trouble. She's been caught a couple times. She still has her fingers, so I guess she's talked her way out of it.
All right, I'm gonna add ring to end cosmos in inventory. All right.
Well, I mean, she doesn't know where it came from. She's had it since she was an infant. So it can be anything. She
Yeah.
has no idea where it's from, so enjoy, DM. Gift for you.
Of course, I love these gifts.
This is a present unto thee. She has a very she's very she has like this I can't speak English. She has this very she has this like affinity towards the dark and shadow and illusion magic. So she is rather she tries to be rather stealthy. I don't know if she is. We'll see how the rolls treat me.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
She tries. Let's put it that way. That's about all.
All right.
Can't say anything else. I don't know. What else would you guys want to know? I mean,
No. That's good, honestly.
yeah. I'll
to-
put her picture in here, and then that'll be it.
Okay.
Oh, what's her name? It's Morgan or
Her name is Morgan Lacrosse.
gotcha.
This is her. She's an elf. That's it. Enjoy.
That. Because I don't have everybody's character pictures up front, so I usually can display them on stream a lot easily.
I'll drop mine in. If I get
It's
some.
actually my Discord picture, so if they can see my name, which I think they can, that's the picture that they'll see.
All right. Brady Bat, my daughter. If you want to, you can link that in chat too. It's up to you if you're there.
Okay.
And then you could let talk.
As one of my favorite people of recent times would say, "G'day, cunt!" Anyway. Hi. I am playing Otsena. She is a tiefling, standing roughly 6.5. She's very tall. Kind of lithe of frame, like a runner's kind of build. She is adorned, as you can tell by the picture, in like a dark purple fabric lined with gold, like tinged with gold frill. She wears like black and purple like arm warmers and sleeves. Also adorned with gold and coins. The big thing that you notice about her is that like there are no like if you see a coin on her person, it's not like a static thing, like right, like it's not like a pendant with a tight pendant with a coin or whatever. It's like they're loose and they're hanging, and as she moves, she jingles a lot. And you'll notice that she does have typical tiefling horns, long, pointed ears, deep, like violet hued eyes. Every single coin, by the way, is marked with the symbol of Tamora, Lady Luck, as it were. And she has a very long tail that is usually like flicking about somewhere behind her. Long waist length, like black hair. Again, as the picture shows, the top is kind of tinged with the same purple that her clothes is. Clearly, she has a style. But yeah, I don't know if anyone has any questions. I'm really bad at describing things.
Does she have any kind of like overt personality traits that kind of stand out once people kind of see her on the street or talk with her briefly?
She's very outgoing. She's very kind of like.
Sorry, I'm drinking.
She's very outgoing and she moves with a sort of like a fluid movement. It's almost like no movement that she makes when she's talking to people with her hands or whatever. Like nothing is wasted. It's all very intentional and very precise in the way that she does. Her horns are solid black, but they are tipped with the same kind of gold inlay that the rest of her jewelry has. Though it does look like it's kind of it's kind of ceremonial in purpose rather than like decorative, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's a pretty nifty picture too. I like everybody's picture. All right, Zarm.
The Goblet.
Hello, I'm Zarm. I'm a nerd. I'm currently suffer from brain rot, from post-work brain rot.
Yep.
I am playing a Mordant, which is a average height crimson skin hobgoblin with yellow eyes. He is currently wearing. He's got mostly black hair. He's wearing this green bandana that covers most of his head. Outside of the man bun that is visible behind said bandana. He is covered in piercings, quite a few on his nose and his ears. He is, to anyone kind of watching, it's very obvious that he definitely is from a sailor background at the very least. He's wearing the kind of typical like swashbuckler's shirt with the sleeves pulled up to his elbows. He's got this big red sash that he keeps pretty much everything in, which you can see a resting cutlass is in the sash. Kind of cured brown leather pants that descend into black leather boots. He has this fluorescent kind of sky blue tattoo that you can see start like right underneath his Adam's apple that kind of stretch all the way up into all the way to his wrists. They are in the designs of like waves or like wind. It's a little bit like in between. It's a bit vague. You can't really tell exactly what it is. He has this kind of like eternal, kind of shit-eating grin on his face. He seems. It's not necessarily like. Doesn't give off like a nasty, like how gotta say that, like a nasty or like ill-meaning vibe. It's more so that he seems to like really enjoy living in a bit of a mischievous sense. He is here tonight because he's made some very bad financial decisions. And he's looking to make a little bit of money to hopefully make up for some of those decisions. He is a rogue, also, but he is the complete opposite of Morgan. He's more of the rough and tumble type, a bit more like thuggish, definitely down to fight dirty.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and that's him.
Awesome. And last but not least, speaking of fighting down and dirty, Wanged, would you like to talk about your character?
Yeah, so Blurg is a goblin. She's pretty small. She's probably about 3.5 feet tall. She's green and she is a barbarian, and she's just kind of stupid and very angry. She has a perpetual grin and furrowed brows, and she hates humans. Humans were very mean to her at one point, and she does not like them. Needs money to survive. I think Are we in Salus, or are we...
I think for you, you were probably going to be on the Eastern continent already.
Okay.
Just because yours is a little bit different. Everybody else can just decide whether or not they're coming from the major city or not, or that major city or not.
Okay. She kind of arrived in whatever town she's in from a box of fruit from whatever island she came from. She's very tribal looking. She has like kind of torn leather, barely there clothing. She's just very feral. And doesn't speak much except for saying that she hates humans.
It's pretty straightforward and to the point.
Yeah.
You didn't have a specific voice for Blurg, did you?
No, just like, I hate humans.
Alright. Oh shit, that's good. Alright. So I would say for the most part, if you were loosely, I would say honestly, likely all of you in some way, shape, or form have either known or know an acquaintance or however in some way, shape, or form have been entwined in some dealings with Stinky at some point in time. Stinky, for those who don't know, is basically like a almost like a thieves guild leader in Salus, the major city on the western continent, and he's a goblin, and he usually brokers in information worldwide. So he tries his best to keep as many employees as possible in a variety of locations, if not sponsors very many trips to get things and information as needed pertinent to his business, which is the business of info. And he pays generally pretty well. So he, from anybody's experience that has dealt with him before and his reputation on the street, is that although he lives in a very, lack of a better term, shitty area of Salus, he has not backed down from any kind of payments needing to be rendered or screwed anybody over out of a job at any point in time. So pretty reputable when it comes to employment if he reaches out for your particular set of skills. With that in mind, I believe that Bill, Morgan, I forgot what, Brady, what was the character's name again? Is it Tress? Or Eddie?
Huh. Yes,
What was the character's name again?
Which one?
Your character.
Otsana.
I'm gonna forget that constantly.
There you go, I typed it out.
Okay, Otsana, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
She is Salus. She is like a native to the city.
Okay. Morden, obviously, you had said that you were basically old buds with Stinky, so obviously you know.
He's originated from a Split Bluff, but of course he's made his way around. So.
Okay. And then Blurg is probably over in Split Bluff, but she's known for her muscle and straightforwardness. So, you know for a fact. I'll go ahead and read the exposition for you all. A note properly sealed with a very rudimentary depiction of a goblin's face and mired with what looks like sewage makes its way to your person via kobold delivery service. After being appropriately tipped with either coin, food, or something remotely shiny, you're left with a communique depicting a particular job enlisting your help as part of a heist. Those of you more familiar with seedy jobs understand that discretion is necessary, as the note is curt and to the point, especially so from a goblin who often leaves manners at the door when business is at hand. You take your note, follow the directions as best as discerned, and hop on an all-expense-paid cruise to Split Bluff over less than favorable waters, but plenty of exercise during the journey. While some of you met on the high seas, others caught word on the far side of the ocean and have awaited their newly addressed business partners at a local Verdant-owned establishment called the Floating Lotus. So essentially, it's all up to you all if you would be all in the same ship. Very likely you would have had some communication between one another, just because you're kind of going on the same ship. It's just a cargo ship. It's not anything special, nothing too notable about it. Stinky wanted to keep this kind of low key, but you're all paid to kind of go over to some degree while still trying to blend in. Your cargo ship is Seaborn owned, which is basically dwarves that establish their livelihood on the sea, and because they have such close connection to the Verdant, which are basically a hodgepodge of orcs, goblins, and other typically greenish skinned races or cultures, they have a kind of like a reduced fee to go over at the expense of kind of carrying your own on the ship as you pass by, so you may need to help with some stuff here and there, but you definitely get over to the eastern continent after, I would say, roughly a week of travel, maybe a little bit less. So eventually you pull up to the cliffs of Split Bluff, the ones that do have to travel, which is the majority of you. And if you've never been there before, the visual that you approach is essentially a very, very large cliffside with a mishmash of almost like Viking style and like Asian pagoda-ish buildings kind of speckled in between one another, because it's a blending of cultures. It's a very solid mix of dwarven and verdant cultures that live there, because of the fact that it's inhabited by two sets of cultures, two sets of people. But when it comes to getting up to that particular, I guess, village, city, it's basically a small city. It's not too small, but not too big. There are certain pulleys and elevators that take you up while the ships stay, obviously, in the ocean down below. As you kind of ascend the cliffside, it is very tall up, very, very far up. So it'd be, at least from the water side, if you had individuals that were trying to siege via water, it would be insanely difficult to do. But thankfully, we were just here on business. So you all ascend probably roughly all together, unless you are the type of individual to kind of like part ways. And as you get to the top of Split Bluff, it opens up to the market area. Morden, you're probably very familiar with this scene. Anybody who has sailed, probably Bill, you're also probably familiar with this scene. Split Bluff is a very, very decently sized trading hub between a lot of cultures.
Smell that air.
Even C, because yeah, I'll give you that one.
Oh my god, there's a land. Right there. Let me get off this boat, onto the
everywhere,
ground,
It's a ship, actually.
and hug it.
Yeah.
It's a ship. No, it's a boat.
Oh, come on, it's not that bad. Sea air does great things for your lungs. Clear out your sinuses. It's a good time.
I didn't die,
Oh,
thank
alright.
God. Hugs
I'm
ground.
not oh, it's gonna take me longer to get my sea eggs back.
As
Very well.
as you're riding the elevator, it's definitely very shaky. If you're not used to going on an elevator that is basically like stories and upon stories high, it's like a suspension bridge. Obviously, it's swinging that much in the wind, as you know, the air currents from the sea kind of bash their way against the cliff sides. Everything is kind of shaky, but those of you that are more sea oriented, or at least have grown accustomed to sea travel over the past week-ish, it's probably not that bad for you. You're probably kind of accustomed to it, but those who aren't, probably kind of unnerving to be that high up and that shaky.
Yeah,
Bill is probably
like-
swaying with it with a big grin, so.
Yeah, I feel Morning's probably the same thing. Like, Morning is probably has been at sea so much that he kind of like, when he's landbound, he mostly kind of just sways on his own as if he was on the ship, like out of a habit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you get,
That's kind of what I was trying to imply by Bill's like kind of oddly swaying gait. Is that it's kind of the same thing. He's used to the rocking of a deck, but he's been in land for a few years, so he's lost a little bit of it.
Morgan looks like she is not having a good time.
I don't feel very well, gentlemen and ladies. I use
I
that
don't
term
know it.
very loosely. Excuse me.
Which one though?
Yeah.
Like which the gentleman part or the ladies part? Because
He does not answer.
Yeah, have a chew of this. He hands you something.
These two eyes him suspiciously.
It looks like some sort of like dried, hardened something, maybe a vegetable.
I would like to investigate what this is, sir. I don't want to be poisoned.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
I also have proficiency in poisoner's kit, so I would know poison stuff. What am I rolling? How am I rolling this?
You could do it in real life if you want. I don't know if we're gonna come across any combat today, so I'm okay with you rolling in person if you have dice. You can roll investigation with advantage.
Oh, investigation with advantage. So I'm just gonna roll in D&D Beyond.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll roll once. I'll roll twice. Sold for 18.
All
Does
right.
not look poisonous. It looks like probably some sort of candied root of some sort. Dried candied root.
It's probably equivalent to like ginger or something
It
to
is.
help. Yeah.
It's candied ginger.
I will tentatively place it into my mouth and quietly walk along.
Well, it is sweet and spicy like ginger is spicy.
You finally reach the top of the cliffside, and it does open up to like a more markety area. It's mixed with how you would understand like offloading like a dock area, but it's just obviously suspended. But they feed it right into a market area, so that way if there's fish, if there's fruits or something that needs to hit the market more immediately, it's right there. It's like, you know, how farm to table, like it's basically they wanted to try to get it to the marketplace as soon as possible, because if anybody knows the Eastern continent, especially in this particular area, anything outside of a fairly well populated city, village, establishment, it's usually pretty hard to find reliable food. So it's pretty important that that Split Bluff is a pretty good trade hub for anybody in the area. There's no other major city nearby or major establishment nearby for quite some distance. So it's pretty important that they get stuff for sale pretty quick, and you're basically able to walk around if you want. The market area is pretty open and accessible for everybody at this point in time. You make it about midday, and you do know you have to get to the Floating Lotus at one point in time, but there is no time rush currently on when you get there. For the most part, you made pretty good time on the water, albeit kind of choppy. For those not accustomed to it, you did make pretty good time, so you're slightly ahead of schedule to be at the Floating Lotus.
You know, I don't know about you guys, but kind of famished at that trip.
All I could do with a bite.
What do you guys say, Blur? You think we should go back to that fish and chips place? Found
Oh
something
yeah,
here?
maybe get some sausage as well,
That's about right.
and bit of sour beer. You know.
Okay, so I know this little place around the corner is called the Trout Shack, I think, if I remember.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah, let's go there. Let's go there. Haven't been there in ages. Well, hell.
So you make it to the Trout Shack, and they have it's basically like a street cart place. It's not anything overly fancy. It's really just a stand that is a little bit bigger than we would know as like a food truck, and they prepare all sorts of nicely prepared fish dishes, like fish head stew, and like very very spiced fish dishes if as need be, very fancy sometimes, like tapas or maybe some sushi as well, but they specialize just all in fish, and you're more than welcome to kind of grab a bite to eat while you can. Those of you
I get me some fish and chips.
those of you who have been on a boat for as long as you have, you're torn between the more pervasive smell of seafood that has been surrounding you for quite some time, and probably like the version of hardtack that you've been eating here and there while on this boat, just because it wasn't like a fancy cruise. It was a cargo ship passenger. You were a cargo ship passenger, so it wasn't anything fancy. So you could wait. You could get something there while the the hobgoblin and the bugbear decide to pal around and go to one of their favorite local stops.
Was there anybody a part of the group that was kind of like the leader, or somebody that was like in charge of the group?
Unless someone wants to nominate, nobody was necessarily explicitly said to be the leader. At least in the notes that you all found. You all are just supposed to meet at the Floating Lotus.
Okay. I think Blurg would probably be at this fish place, and she's just gnawing on ratty bones that were left over from the dishes that they were making. But she has a little paper that's tied around her neck that has the name of whoever was probably the most trustworthy in charge of the group. And she's like looking over these newcomers that are coming over here as she's licking her lips with little flakes of fish all over her face.
What? Morgan is not trying to go anywhere near where there is fish. She'll follow the rest, wherever they head. But she'll keep an eye open for maybe something a little more planty in partake repast.
Yeah,
Maybe
there's
something vegetarian-y.
There's a few like stalls that have, even just like market stalls that have fresh fruit and vegetables that have been shipped in, and they're unloading the stuff as you speak and as you pass by. And so you get the drastic difference between fish head stew and like just this big, what would look like half giant, chopping the heads off of these huge fish and like plop them into stews. And you see like Bill and Morden kind of like, yeah, this is my place. And then on the other side, you see, just this dwarven mother of two, and her children are basically attending to this stall that's very quiet, very to itself. It's got plenty of fruits and veggies.
She will make her way over there and try not to look like she's trying to steal from the lady. Hello.
Hello, how was the weather? Look over there.
I would like to show you something really cool, and she'll point in the other direction really fast. She's like, no, I'm just joking. I'd like to purchase one of these. She'll make a big show of it for the kids because, rogue.
Gotcha. They definitely are receiving some like dragon fruit which is a little bit more of a delicacy because it would be probably grown, of course, like in the scaled isle where all the dragonborn are from. So they're getting some new and delicious and different stuff in, and they're more than welcome to sell it to you with fake RP monies.
Yay!
No gold subtraction is necessary.
I will give my fake RP monies to these lovely people, and I will also offer the children to teach them a cool trick by trying to make the cool RP monies vanish with my fingers, because I want to teach them a cool trick. So can I do that? Yeah,
of course. Do sleight of hand.
I'll try.
All right.
Blurg is very interested in watching as she's crunching on the fish bones.
I'm really sad because I got a 13.
You said a 13?
Yeah, I got a 13.
13's okay. It's just going to be a simple trick. It's going to be, like you start to fiddle the coin, like a silver coin or a bronze coin between your knuckles, and then you do a flourish of the hand, and then it looks like it disappears, but you're just kind of like keeping it firm between your knuckles, so it doesn't, obviously look very, very prominent. And you kind of like instruct them, be like, hey, this is how you do this, and you always got to keep your wits about you because you never know if somebody's going to try to play a trick on you, and nothing is ever as it seems.
Absolutely. Watch out, little ones. And then she'll hand the fake RP money, one to each child. She'll thank the mom. You do good work, ma'am, if you ever need me. And she'll wake. Then she'll take the little dragon fruit. She'll start peeling it with her knife. Start eating it because fuck fish.
Well,
that's how mermaids. That's how we get mermaids. Okay?
Not literally.
No, not
Are they
literally.
top half fish or bottom half fish?
Hopefully they're
Yes.
bottom half. Hopefully
Yes.
they're top half fish because
Uh-oh.
if they're bottom half fish, I ain't getting nothing.
Upstairs fish, downstairs fish.
Oh no. I don't like this. All right, that's
Can't
enough
keep-
RP for tonight. We're done.
I bet you don't.
All right, guys. Thanks for the session. See you next time.
Yeah, 20 minutes. We're done.
Talking about upstairs and downstairs fish. Okay.
But the dwarven children are kind of amazed and very happy, and they're super excited. Kind of gets them a little bit more hyper. And the mother just smiles and thanks you thoroughly for entertaining your kids. Sometimes it's a little bit harder on this end of the world to find a little bit of happiness, but honestly, every little bit helps. So you feel like you've made a very positive impact, even if it is, a small smile on a couple of kids' faces.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Blurg, you are beginning to smell that these individuals that just came in are obviously a little bit more unique, and likely the individuals you're looking for. Stinky, in the note, kept it as simple as possible for you to look out for a variety of individuals. One bugbear, one hobgoblin, one tiefling, and one elf. One
Yes,
high
I think
elf, I
that
should say.
she probably very slowly sort of recognizes Morden.
Yeah, I think at this point he's probably like eating like some fries, and he's kind of like eyeing her, more like in a sense where like, is this what I fucking think it is?
And she also does have the sign that's hanging around her neck that she can't read herself, but it says one of their names.
Hello, my name is Steve.
My name is Stevenson.
I would say, given the established relationship that Morden likely has with Stinky, it would probably be Morden's name.
That's what I was
Okay.
gonna guess.
So at that point, I think he kind of leaves his plate there. He kind of walks over towards where Blurg is and sits down like right in front of her, and goes, "Well, well, well. What's our little green killer doing over here?"
Hello, Morden.
Hello,
And she
hello.
crunches on the fish some more. Very, very like bone snapping in her teeth. But she's
know-
trying to get every last little bit of meat out of it.
You know, I would offer to get you something a bit more like palatable, but we both know this is what you're enjoying.
She grins ear to ear.
It's a peculiar looking necklace you got there. Is that something new?
She looks down and is like, she kind of like paws at it with her hands, and it's just like, I was supposed to be looking for something. Is this for you? And she kind of like takes it off and like hands it to him. She knows she was supposed to do something, but she's not exactly sure what.
I'm really glad you handed it to me, because if I was gonna reach for it, I was gonna start becoming kind of afraid for my fingers there.
Yeah, watch out.
So pick up the paper and take a look-see at it, since he is thankfully literate.
The note does say for Morden, and then it actually tells you to head to, whenever you get in, head to the Floating Lotus and mention the code word Firecap to the front desk. Anybody that's the hostess, or even the barkeep.
I just love the idea that the passcode is just written on right on her chest, basically.
Right, so I think at that point, he will kind of stand up from the table. Hey, Bill, can you get me my plate real quick and come over here?
Yeah, no problem.
Right, and then he
Picks
kind
up
of
the
looks
plate, walks
over.
there with his own plate too.
He probably looks over and spots Morgan eating her leaves. Hey, Miss Cabbage, can you come over here for a second? We're gonna need a moment of your time.
She just kind of looks. She looks up, and she arches a brow, and she just stares. Like, what?
It's about the job money. He does like the like index like rubbing against thumb
yeah.
motion. Money, gold. Interested?
Sure. And then she'll just shrug. Cabbages. Whatever, meat man.
Hey,
Follow.
Whoa!
That's a nice name.
Then he listened for the clinking of its senna.
Yeah, she just follows.
Just so before we go any further, the giant stand owner of Trout Incorporated or whatever the fuck we call it, they just kind of look up like, did they pay me?
Well, Bill absolutely paid.
Okay, all right. They move one of the plates aside or whatever. They notice the coin that's left for the food, which it wasn't that expensive, but you know, you got to make a living. And
Blurg got the bones from the trash.
you're just helping clean up. They don't
Yeah,
even give a shit
exactly.
at that point.
Trout man with the trout.
Troutman, that's his last name.
Troutman.
Troutman Enterprises.
We
Troutman
know.
Inc.
We don't know. He's like a 20th level fighter, and he's got time and brawler, and he just swings fishes for weapons.
Yeah, he shit hits people with fucking
I
stuff.
approve.
His full name is Archibald Troutman Esquire.
Third of his name, it's Sir Archibald Trout.
Esquire.
The third.
Esquire the third.
God damn it, Rin.
Sir Archibald.
All right, once everyone's gathered, he will kind of sit back down and kind of motion with the paper. All right, so this here is Blurg. She's a very nice lady. Don't fuck with her though. I've seen her pick up an adult man and break a spine over her knee. She'll be joining us for this little foray of ours.
Blurg is secretly Bane.
Yeah.
Think Batman.
He's just grinning.
All right, so thanks to our verdant friend here, we now know we should be heading over to the Fire Lotus. It was right, Fire Lotus.
The floating lotus.
Floating.
Yeah, so we're heading over to the Floating Lotus, a nice little place in Uptown, I think. And something, you know, kind of just blurred out, fire cap at the entrance, and we should apparently be set up.
I would say that Blurg, you probably are very familiar with the floating lotus, and probably a little more than not too much because it's really not typically your bag. But we'll have this is gonna be funny. We'll have Blurg roll to see if she can remember a tidbit of information for the floating lotus to see if she can convey it to the group.
What should I roll?
If you don't have history, I know you don't. I'm pretty sure you don't.
It's like Idiot Savant from Fallout in real life.
Yeah.
So just roll a d20 with your intelligence modifier, and I'll see if just tell me what the result is.
-3.
Let's go.
It's a 2. That'd be a 2.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
But it's not like it's not a critical fail, right? It's just a 2.
No, yeah, it's just a 2.
You know,
It could be worse.
yes, it could. You know that you are often going to the floating lotus because the nice lady doesn't yell at you for eating scraps.
Okay. Yeah. And this fish wasn't that much. It was just bones, so she's probably still hungry.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, Blurg gets up and grabs her giant wooden hammer that's basically a walking staff as well for her, that's leaning up against the table, and she kind of just grunts and nods in the direction that they're about to go.
Everybody's like,
Is there English there?
Mhm.
No, that's about as good as the rest of the god.
And she starts going.
yeah, you
That
know.
moment, I wish I took Goblin.
I don't think you would. It wouldn't matter. She's not speaking Goblin.
Does anybody here speak green?
I do speak Goblin.
I do. Bill also speaks Goblin, but
Does she hate speaking Goblin?
Yeah, she can speak Goblin.
She's speaking Blurg.
She does know Goblin in common, but she's not very verbal or very good at it, so good luck.
But yes, Blurg, you know where you're going. Like, you obviously know where you're going. It's where the other food scraps are.
Yes. She kind of like sniffs the air, like, yeah, this way.
Is that her way of telling us to follow her?
Come with me.
If you want to live.
Shit.
She could
She'll be
use
back.
weight.
So yeah, if you are inclined to, you are more than welcome to follow Blurg. Morgan will quietly follow while eating her fruit, which is not leaves.
Yeah, I guess I'll follow her.
This is our new leader, guys.
Yep.
You have to listen to her.
Oh God, help you all.
She's smart, brave. Look at her. She knows what she's doing. I can follow this woman into the oblivion. I like her.
well,
She-
absolutely.
She's
Yes, certainly
eloquent.
Gaslight, skull smash, girl boss.
She just
I
looks
see the
at
best. Beep, beep.
Morgan with like a vacant stare, like, okay,
You
cool.
think
Follow
drool,
me.
You think drool
Yeah.
is coming out of her mouth when she
Yeah,
looks back
it's
at
a
you.
little.
Morgan's just gonna give her the biggest thumbs up, and she's like, "You got this, woman. I got your back, girl. Don't worry, we got this."
She grins and licks the little fish bits off the sides of her mouth, and then keeps going.
When she turns around, she shudders a little, going, "Yucky." And you see her dragon fruit.
Oh my God.
And she leads them over valiantly.
All right, so you make your way past the merchanty areas into a little bit more of the higher elevated. I would say it's the verdant side of town. There is a slight division. While there is some mixing of the houses, there is a slight division. It's almost like in a bigger city where you'd have Chinatown and K-Town and Little Italy. It's kind of divided up in a similar manner, but it's kind of just between the two cultures for the most part. Some of the shops kind of intermingle between one another. The lines aren't exactly like super drawn. Some of the shops kind of bleed over, but generally speaking, you're going to the verdant side of town. And it isn't like there is a division because of any kind of distrust or anything. The two peoples of the Seaborn Dwarves and the Verdant typically have relatively good tidings with one another. It's never something that is looked at as adversarial. It's just easier for them to kind of be able to shop for the things that you want to shop and do the things that you want to do related to the certain cultures that are there. So it just makes it easier for especially visitors as well. And they all kind of look out for one another anyway. But you're going to the verdant side of the village, and you can notice that the architecture is definitely different from at least even the architecture in Salus. It is very like sharp angles. You have a lot more free-flowing, lighter walls that cover large open areas, pagoda-like structures that basically top a lot of the buildings. So it's a very almost like Asian-inspired feel to it when it comes to the architecture of the verdant structures. You eventually make it to a nice little open tea house area called the Floating Lotus. It does serve as not only like a somewhat regional mead hall, but also a tea house for basically the surrounding area. And one thing that the Verdant are especially known for are their specific teas. Now they don't do a lot of alcohol, but they still dabble in alcohol. Things like, specific wines and whatnot. They do have a few, just for the alcohol aficionados. They do still have some dwarven ale on tap, but there are other locations that probably have a wider variety to do. So they're mostly known for a very sit-downy atmosphere, not too rabble-rousy, not too loud and rambunctious. Very chill, very intimate meetings and locations, and obviously their tea. But once you enter, you do notice that there is a hostess. It is a young orc child that is basically manning the front and kind of just sees you all in and asks, well, is this the entire party?
Morgan will look at the others. She will look at herself. She will look at the others. She'll look at the orc child and she'll say, I think so. She's in charge. And she'll point to Blurg.
Oh God, please don't leave the orc and goblin. Why? Please don't
And
leave the short one.
She is being super, super facetious, really sarcastic, and she gives the biggest shit-eating grin as she looks at the guy who said she was eating cabbages, and then gives the biggest smile and winks. Isn't that right?
While Altseta is trying to get over her stroke that she's having, the orc child.
You know what? I'm here for it.
The orc child runs up and almost quasi tackles Blurg with a hug, and just basically says, "Blurg, do you want your table or do you want table for them?"
Blurg grunts and just picks him up in a big bear hug and swings him around as much as she can, because I'm sure he's probably slightly bigger than her, but she's strong, so she can do it. And then she drops him off and just says, "We together."
Okay.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So at the reveal that Blurg is in fact very much in control of the situation, Morden's going to shrug back at Morgan with his own shit-eating grin.
She'll nod a little. She's thinking to herself, we're gonna find out how fucking far this rabbit hole will go. Let's go.
This is like a pissing contest, but I don't know how well it's gonna end up.
It's the rogue pissing contest at the corner. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we got this. Don't worry. It's fine.
He doesn't want to.
Just here for the ride.
Yeah, he doesn't want to embarrass Blurg by mentioning that by kind of pointing out the fact that she forgot about the fire cap. She's gonna try to make eye contact with her and then just spell out the word silently and fire cap, but just with his mouth, no words.
Blurg, go ahead and roll another intelligence check for me.
Hey, Blurg probably just looks at him huh?
So
I'll roll.
So this is probably a stretch, but Hobgoblins have this feature called a fake gift. Essentially, you can use the help action as a bonus action. It kind of doesn't make any sense here, but I'm trying to see if I can expend one of my uses to give her advantage.
Sure, I'll allow it.
I'm using one.
So it would be advantage. So roll twice.
Yeah, take the highest.
Because I'm helping her.
Oh my gosh, 15.
What the Okay.
Oh yeah,
brain cells, the neurons are firing.
Yes.
She's in charge, I'm telling you guys.
I was gonna say, somehow, in the picture of your very imaginative mind, you do get this image that Morden is helping you with of a mushroom, of a fire cap, and you know what it was because you had it once, you've eaten it once, and it felt like your insides were on fire. So, you do remember that Morden was saying these things, and that was a keyword, and maybe you should say it.
She just slowly grins, remembering the pain and rage that gave her. And she just says, "Fire cap."
The little girl orc hostess, she goes, "Oh, okay, I will prepare your table, and I will make sure it's private. Okay, this way. And then she leads all of you to the back.
Double thumbs up to the goblin.
I think
Oh,
that
I'm
moment
going with
passed already, and she's back to like kind of blank stare, like, yeah,
guys.
yeah.
But she was the leader. She knows what she's doing, guys. You just have to have faith. Just a little faith. Tiny bit of faith.
So as you all are like walking through, it looks immaculate. Like the tea house looks very, very nice. You notice as you're continuing to walk through that there are some individuals that are seating at some of the second level tables. They're just having like a very quiet, private tea session, essentially. But you're being led essentially through the kitchen. And as you're being led through the kitchen, you do notice there is a large muscle mommy orc woman in the back. I don't think any of you would know her except for Blurg. But Blurg, you would know her as Glasha. She owns the Floating Lotus.
Blur grunts to her. Ugh.
And with like a smirk, she kind of grunts back, and then she looks to the hostess, the younger orc girl, and says, "Are you you're setting up Blurg with her table?" And then the young hostess is just kind of like smiles and nods, and she asks, "Did they happen to say whatever they needed to say?" And then the orc hostess, she just kind of grins and smiles back, again and again, just confirming that you guys said the passcode. And then Glasha again, she's like, "All right, well, set them up with as quiet of a place as you can make it. I know that Blurg's table isn't exactly super large for everybody, but just try to make them feel fit and comfortable." And she kind of nods again, and then you all kind of head past the kitchen to what is essentially a ramshackle table set up with what would be like trash cans nearby and things that would normally contain scraps from after dinner meals and everything. And it's just kind of like a makeshift room that they have with relatively secure walls, newly crafted, very different from what is basically on the outside. And it is basically like a ramshackle room with broken stools and whatnot for seats. And then there's just this one backed chair that looks like it has been improvised into almost like a throne for Blurg in this like quasi messy area of what would be like composting. So yeah, this is Blurg's private area to eat whenever she comes in.
Delicious.
You bring us to the nicest places.
But yeah, the hostess kind of offers you all to take a seat wherever you can. It's probably gonna be cramped, but she asks if you all need anything to eat or drink before you all begin.
Just bring a pot of tea, please.
You know what? After being so long, I think tea sounds pretty good. We won't need anything to eat. We just came back from the shack.
I'm trying to stealthily ninja a chip from the big bugbear guy when I hear, "Do I want anything?" And I flub my roll and say, "Ooh, and I hit him in the hand and say, I want chips like this guy right here," and just kind of sit there smiling like innocently.
Bill totally notices what you were trying and says nothing about it.
He literally just smiles like
Just
innocent.
smiles, and he will grin and say nothing.
All right, so you're looking for chips.
Sure.
All right.
Actually, I can
Potato
go for a
chip.
bit of sausage.
Yeah. You want some
cheese?
Uh-oh, Bill's
bit of
ordering.
bread, and a beer. Yeah, should be good.
The young hostess is like, do you want dwarven ale or do you want rice wine?
Let's do the ale.
Okay.
Nice and thick, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the dwarven ale is always pretty thick.
Yeah, like to chew it. It's good stuff, mate.
I could add some extra lumps in there if you want.
Nah, it's fine. I just got off the boat, so I don't think I need it. You know, right, Bob?
Okay, well I'll be right back. And then the little girl just kind of runs off as quickly as she can. As you're waiting, you do notice that Blurg has probably found some more scraps and
Yes.
makes herself at home because she's a growing girl.
I mean, good job, leader.
Yeah, Morden has to kind of look back and forth, look around, say, where the fuck did you get that? Where did that
She
come from?
just grins at Morgan with like food just kind of like, kind of halfway in and out of her mouth.
He'll do that. You know that point and smile that you get from like, that, what is that it's there's this Jesus statue where he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
winking and he's smiling with the double hand with the finger guns.
Yeah,
It's literally Morgan right now. She'll toss a dagger in the air, she'll shoot you the finger guns and smile.
That's
And
Buddy
then-
Christ.
Yes, the Buddy
right.
Christ.
Buddy Christ. She'll give you the Buddy Christ. She'll after she's and then catch the dagger and just continue to fuck around with it.
So I would say after about, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes of, probably more so 10 minutes of conversation that you might all have, just trying to get caught up on anything that you may have an exchange with, remarking about how maybe the I guess ship ride over sucked or didn't suck as much as you thought it was going to, etc., etc. You have Glasha, who is the owner, come in with not only like your mead, well, I would say serpent's mead, and also some food that was requested in your tea. But she also sidles up and takes a stool, as cramped and whatnot as it is, and pulls up alongside the table and drinks basically some dwarven meat of her own. And this Glasha is big. She ain't exactly a small person in any regards. Even for an orc woman, she's pretty damn big. Does anybody have any history at all? Like, I guess especially in this area, Morden may. I don't know if Bill would. Blurg can roll on it as well, but if you're mostly, actually Morgan can roll. I think the only person that wouldn't be able to roll is Udsana, just from her being mostly a Salus city girl.
A roll history, but I'm certainly not trained in it.
That's okay.
Oh, I know the everything, guys. Don't worry. I know everything.
Oh damn!
I got
a 15.
I got a 22, guys.
Oh.
Ooh.
Look at me. Hot ticket.
I got a 4, no.
All right, so I would say Morgan and Bill did Blurg roll at all?
No.
Okay. It's like, no, fuck that.
No.
That's fair.
Nice.
Too busy eating shit as she finds it.
Yeah.
Bill and Morgan, I'll divide it up into two different little sections there. So jointly, you both recall that there are, after seeing essentially a particular marking, almost like a tattoo slash branding on Glasha, you know that she was a part of some kind of military defense in this particular area at one point in time. You both recall, at least from history books, maybe have lived through some of it, not entirely sure. But you do know at one point in time there were a lot of really nasty incursions that were happening near Split Bluff. So the city had to rally to ensure that they were trying to protect itself and surrounding areas. So they organized a military to do so, and it looks like Glasha was probably a part of that. The tidbit of information that Morgan likely has above Bill is that, long story short, her people, the High Elves, were a long time ago when the really, really bad thing called the Rend happened. Her people were inflicted with almost like a magical insanity that turned a lot of them into cannibals. And those cannibals were mixed in with a lot of the other tribal individuals within this particular continent. They were the ones that likely Glasha was fighting against. So she's probably seen some wicked, nasty shit in her time. And Morgan, probably you've heard stories of there being mounted like bear cavalry that they use to help combat those particular cannibals in the area, because the bears in this area are like extra sturdy, and they often have specific characteristics that help them survive in these like environments that are very not much so inhabitable, with a severe lack of plant life in between certain areas and whatnot. So they kind of utilize that just as a part of history. You kind of know that. So in any case, you know Glasha is probably a very war-hardened individual, and it's not. If it were between, if you know that she has something that needs to be discussed, whether it be this job or something else, you would almost understand that she probably, we would probably assume that she probably would approach it with a very, very serious nature, not anything that's very flippant or anything. She's very, very straightforward, very honest, very military when it comes to kind of talking about these things with you all.
Nice. Morgan will not share any of that information with her fellows. She
That
will
is fair.
simply lean back in her chair, as nonchalant as anyone could ever hope to be, and continue to just enjoy watching the everything. Thinking about all this as she eats her fruit that's not leaves.
Definitely not leaves.
Fuck you.
So she takes a big solid sip of her mead, and then like from within her her apron, she pulls out another letter. It looks very sealed, the same way as like your initial letter. So it looks very similar to what Stinky had sent you all. And she has one in particular that she starts to open up, and she reads over almost in silence herself. And then she mentions to you, she's like, this isn't the first time that I've had to do something on behalf of our verdant friend. And it likely won't be the last. At least if you do this right, I'm sure you'll get back home to, whatever loved ones you may have. And let's just not also ruin this home that I have for me and my children here. I want to be perfectly clear. If something goes south, I do not want any of you to come back here and ruin it for the little ones that I have out there that I'm taking care of.
Come back where?
You say come back where?
Yeah, but he's saying it like he's being facetious. It's like it's like like don't talk about this about what
What are you
it's
talking
he's
about,
Yeah.
man? Come
You
back
saw
where?
nothing.
Yeah.
You saw nothing. Saw what?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't see nothing. I didn't hear anything. What you talking about, Willis?
She goes, exactly. What were you gonna say, Bill?
I said, I.
Ah, okay.
Blurg might be a little too dumb to make that promise. She knows that there's food here. But I think she'll do whatever in her power to make sure things don't go wrong. And if they do, things will be dead.
You may not pick up on this just because you're probably focused a little bit on something else, Blurg, but it's very possible she is also referring to you when she's talking about the little ones that she has like oversight over.
Yeah, I don't think Blurg would want any harm to come to them. She's very fond of them.
But she continues to kind of like unfold this set of instructions on the table in front of you as you're all partaking in your food and your drinks. And almost as if it were a battle plan, she kind of lays something out in front of you. And one, it looks like a very rough drawing, almost in like chicken scratched drawing of what looks to be a warehouse of some kind. And she just kind of pushes it in front of the majority of you. She's like, it looks like you all will need to memorize this. And I'm going to give you this note. You look over it, read it, do what you need to do. And I'll make sure that you have the privacy that you need. But this is what you're here for. Then she kind of like stands up, nods to all of you, kind of gives Blurg a pat on the head, and walks out of the room.
Okay, so as soon as she says that and stands up to leave this beautiful thing on the table, Morgan's going to instantly cast Mage Hand, and she's going to use said Mage Hand to bring this to her. She doesn't even move. She doesn't get up. She uses the Mage Hand to help her be lazy, so she can literally plucks it out of the air. The Mage Hand is dismissed, and she starts to read this little thing privately to herself, like it's a magazine, with her feet going up onto the table, clunk clunk, and her little boots are there, and she's just like, "Hi, guys, we gotta talk to our leader." She'll lift it up, look at the goblin across the way, and then she'll put it back down to figure out exactly what we're going to do.
So who would want to, besides Morgan, take a look over the note?
I will, just so I know what I'm getting myself into.
Oh, you're gonna have fun. Don't worry. Really, we need the money. And she'll hand the map over.
So the map very clearly describes something that looks like a warehouse of some kind. It is not labeled, but it does look like, for those that are familiar with at least vague like architectural design, that there is a very big storage area. It looks like there's an office adjoining to this particular storage area. It is hand sketched, almost like architectural blueprint when it comes to what this actually looks like. And there is a separate note associated with it. If you do end up reading it, it does describe that this is a ex nihilo treasury, so it's the treasury, one of their customs warehouses, and within it is a wooden crate of a particular kind that needs to be retrieved, and whomever wants to read it over in detail can actually determine the details of that particular crate if they wanted to. But depending on if you know the treasury is definitely very protective of whatever they have in their possession. They are basically the aspiring bank of the world, and they not only do they provide missions for all walks of life, whether you be morally good or do not give a fuck about any life on this earth whatsoever, they will employ you. They are there to make money, and that is their primary goal. So with that in mind, this is something that it looks like it's probably going to be guarded fairly well, but also is very unique enough that you should be able to spot it within the customs warehouse itself. The timeline is as soon as possible. The plotted time frame that you all had was expected that you would get there a little bit later, but thankfully, because you made such good time on the ship, you've gotten a little bit early, so you have a little bit more prep time than what was assumed to be. So within the next day, you're expected to essentially try to the best of your ability get this wooden crate, which is a 3x3 crate. It is clad in magical sigils. This is all information that you're just given on the paper. There's no visuals, there's no anything else that can be found of it. It is just a word description. The edges are going to be banded in iron with runes on it. There's no hinges that can be found externally on this particular box, and if need be, as long as you have the contents from within it, that's the most important part. If you can take the box with whatever's inside of it, awesome. If not, then yeah, that's what's most important. But the odd part about this particular box is that there's no sound that can be heard coming from within it, or if you knock on it, can be heard emanating from it, if that makes sense. So it's almost like it is completely devoid of any kind of sound that could be made of anything that would be in it, or if you knock on it from the outside, any sound is made at that point in time either. And that's really all you know, except for obviously the layout of the warehouse. It's fucking happening right now. This chat is hilarious.
Sorry, Kenneth, this is now a text thread.
Yeah, apparently.
No,
I did remember
it's
that.
easy to do that so that we don't interrupt while he's explaining things.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Well, Bill will finish off a slice of cheese eating off the blade of his hand axe. All right, so we know what the thing looks like, right? Let's have a look-see.
Hands over the map. Choose loudly.
The warehouse looks like it's about 2 stories. It has likely an adjoining office, because it is a customs office warehouse, or it's a customs warehouse. So there is some kind of processing area, and you can imagine that there are probably guards around the warehouse knowing the treasury. Whether or not you know them intimately is one thing, but you know that they value the shit that they have, and they don't want to easily give it up. So I would say, given at least the knowledge of a few of you, Morden, go ahead and roll a... Do you have anything like well, I would say history or investigation, whichever one's higher for you.
It's definitely going to be investigation in this case. Well, that's not great. It's a 12.
That's okay. That's at least good enough. You know that if push comes to shove and noise is made, the treasury will likely send reinforcements. Whether they're like immediately available is one thing, but you do know just from geography alone is that Split Bluff is pretty close to the treasury's aisle, so you know that a lot of times there are treasury ships that come in and deal with the like the local office that is stationed in Split Bluff. So it's very possible that if you go in loud, there's probably going to be a possibility of reinforcements coming to do something about whatever disturbance is happening at the customs office.
Right, and since I've dealt with them before, I do know what the treasury is, right? Like the name of the place, and
Yeah, you know about them.
it was the Nix, right? Or Nux?
The Ex Nihilo treasury.
The ex nihilo, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll kind of like motion towards like the part of the warehouse that's like adjacent to towards the ocean. You know, like all right, so this is next nihilo territory, which basically means that if we go in there and we start fucking shit up, and we take a little bit too long, we're gonna have an entire army on their asses.
Okay.
And we're not talking like 5 guys with like swords. We're talking like an entire like city's worth.
They will
of people
send
trying to kill
they will
you.
send ships. If it's important enough, they will send ships.
We're talking an entire city. We're talking maybe like an armada. Like it's essentially like we're not surviving this.
All right then.
We're talking like wizards and shit.
Get in.
Don't even worry
Yeah.
about it. You're dead. Like we're just dead.
You just vanish. You become invisible.
Yeah, so some purple guy just shows up and snaps his fingers, and you're just gone.
Lovely.
Yeah, like if it comes down to it, I can just have Bob help me get in and out.
Well, it's good that you have a plan. However, I don't intend on getting caught at all. So our fearless leader, is very strong. If we go in very loud, we will be in trouble. So we want to be really soft-stepped. Do you think you could be very quiet? And she'll look at Blurg and smile.
She looks at Morgan kind of with a blank look on her face, and then looks over to Morden and kind of just waits, expecting for him to like explain in simple terms for her.
You know, tippy toe. And she'll
Alright,
use her
so-
fingers to do the tippy toe motion.
Alright, so essentially, you know, time to smash is limited, and if we take too long, we're dead. You still with me?
She
Yeah.
slowly grins.
Loud
Yes.
smash equals dead elf. No
So-
dead elf. Points
Fast.
So the deal here is not that we can't necessarily smash. The thing is that if we're gonna smash, we need to do it real fast.
Fast smash.
Exactly.
Fast smash.
Oh god, no!
Yes.
No smash! No smash!
And I just want to point out he had no ulterior motive with that sentence. It's just the way he put it.
No smash! Morgan starts screaming at the top of her lungs. No smash!
Hey, this place is private, but you know, it's not soundproof.
Ah.
So if
No
I had to like
smash.
suggest something, is that we can probably try as much as we can to get inside without, you know, freaking everyone out. The whole thing though is like once we're inside, this will like we're never gonna be in and out without like nothing ever going to a hitch. So what I suggest is that we try to find a way inside without, you know, having the entire goddamn owls on our asses. We get in there and we try to do as much as we can, and then we need to plan for an out because things will get hairy as they always do.
You go to
How-
any windows.
How silent are you?
I
Shade.
can,
Morgan
I can
asked
get
Morgan.
around. Get around.
So I'm fairly light on my feet. I could scout ahead, unless you are, since you know, I think you might be just as well. However, I offer.
Oh, absolutely. If you want me to shadow you, I can definitely do that.
Yes, that would probably be wise. Then we can prepare for our more, not so silent friends.
Well, there's that. There's also, if they have workers inside, I may know 1 or 2 of them. Also, the fact that if they're hiring sailors, I also kind of fit the bill, kind of looked like I belong there. So that's 2 ways we probably get us inside without, you know, necessarily having to sleep in the shadows or I don't know, crawl around.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be for the
Man,
best.
if they got a
certainly.
window, I could probably get Bob in there.
Right.
You all don't know who Bob is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like, come here, Bob. He motions his hand, and like a translucent duplicate, kind of gray, shadowy duplicate of Bill appears in the room.
Blurg just
And then
like
waves.
suddenly stands up, like jostling the table as she stands up. Just like, "Oh!"
You're a fucking Equinite. You little shit.
You
Yeah,
motherfucker.
You- the shadowy figure waves. Yeah, say hi, Bob. Yeah, Bob's great. So anyway, just let my brother in, and then ask for a place with him, and he goes outside, and then like maybe if he needs to grab something, or I need to grab something, I'll go grab it, and Bob helps me out.
If it just so happened to store everything in a room that has a window, that would be very convenient.
Yeah,
Which is probably why that's not going to be the case.
yeah, probably not. But if there's a window anywhere else in the building,
It's an intrigue, though, I'm sure.
Somewhere. Yeah,
It's an intrigue, though. I'm sure it'll be useful.
yeah, isn't that right, Bob? Bob nods.
But essentially, we won't know how to do anything until we get our eyes on a place. We're gonna have to check it out, see what we can do. What do you think?
So,
what do you think, Asena?
So let me get this straight. You want to run in and smash everything and hope that
No.
what you're describing as a very powerful faction won't suddenly appear in front of us?
No. So what I was saying is, we're gonna try to do this as as silently and as swiftly as possible. What I'm saying though is that no plan ever survives the actual thing, which it won't, because it never do. So say once shit hits the fan, because it will. I'm gonna get there out as fast as possible. If you can somehow do it without alerting anyone or raising an alarm, then perfect. I'm up for it. I'm just preparing for the worst.
I mean,
So long as we all
I-
understand that I'm not good with a needle.
yeah.
I'm not
I mean,
great with
that's
a needle and thread. So if you get a big ass cut on your forehead, don't come to me.
We're sorely lacking on the well, does anyone here know how to other than myself, of course, cast the magic-y things?
Blurg, this
I
kind
think
of
so.
this kind of perks your attention, but
Yeah, she kind of like looks up for a second and grins. Magic.
Yes, healing magic that makes your boo-boos go away.
She looks confused again.
Boo-boos. Cut. Owie. Ouchie.
Blurg, in your
Pain.
mind, you know that you only make boo-boos, you do not cure boo-boos.
Yeah, she just kind of sticks out her tongue and is like, lick boo-boos?
No, lick boo-boos. Fearless leader.
But
You make boo-boo. You make boo-boo. And then she'll give her thumbs up. And then she'll look at
Yes.
everybody else and she'll say, anyone not make boo-boos, but undo boo-boos?
sorry, it's only making boo-boos for me.
I don't undo boo-boos, okay? I literally am an art thief, okay? I get in, I get out, I'm unseen. That's the job.
Yeah, it would probably be more in your warehouse if you knew what was in the crate,
Yeah.
or you could break into the crate. You have a good idea that this is some kind of magical crate, and it might have a little bit more than just like a lock to pick.
Because for all we know, there could just be like an immovable rod in there that's been activated.
Yeah, like there's no way for me to be able to. I'm not strong enough to drag this thing. It's gonna be loud. So the only thing I could do is scout around, get an idea of what's going on, and then we can run in. I don't know. Maybe we could just dig a hole underneath.
You can burrow.
I
throw
wish
away.
you the best of luck with that one. I didn't know.
I mean, I think if it could be done, probably someone would have done it already. Or maybe
So
no one's
are
bad
we?
enough to try.
Here's my question though. Are we going in or what are we doing? Are we scouting?
Maybe
What
what
is?
we should do, since we have some time, is take a look, see
Yeah.
what's there, then figure out how we want to approach.
Might be an
maybe not.
idea.
Maybe we get on the roof.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't. I don't know. It might be a way. I don't know. Any lads up there? Or not?
Yeah, we should definitely check the place out before we come up with anything.
No, you probably just want to be suspicious, you know. Like the old crew of us going at once. Might not be the best of ideas. But, maybe some folks would, good at taking a look, being sneaky, like, probably could, take a gander. Maybe some of the other of us we could walk by, see what we see. Keep an eye out.
How many days do we have to complete this task?
You got about a day.
These are nice. Okay. So it looks like I have some work to do. Oh fuck. She's gonna stand up, start
as
getting
of-
serious, pull on her gloves.
And say, Yadza will
No.
finish her cup of tea and stand up and just
So, look,
make her
Good
way towards
question.
the door.
Yeah.
bloke. Miss,
Did you say
Miss-
Blurg or
Did
Bob?
you say
Sorry.
Blurg or
Blurg.
Rogue?
Tiny one.
look,
She looks
short green
over.
miss. Yeah. You good at keeping your head down, like, if you don't want people to see you.
Yeah, I'm small.
Alright. You think you can, take a gander, look around, see what folks what, guarding the place is.
She grins and just kind of grunts. Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, sounds good. I might have to strip off my chain if I want to do the same. But yeah, we can take a look. Any tunnels around here?
Ooh. Would she know about that?
There. I mean, there probably wouldn't be any tunnels that Blurg would know of. You. Alright, hold on. Give me another intelligence roll.
Okay. Why intelligence?
Could be kobold, could be goblin, don't matter.
Oh my god, what the hell?
Oh my god.
I know what the
Wow.
What the-
It's because I believe in you.
It's
I'm a
true.
leader.
I know.
We all
Um,
believe in our fearless leader.
That's the bolstered confidence. Somehow her memory is working properly and functions are just, the synapses are firing. Blurg, you know that there are shops built within the cliffside that may be underneath some of the areas that the warehouse is located at. You're not entirely sure anything else. You just know that there are shops in the cliffside and they are below the customs house.
I imagine that they're probably just like shortcuts that she finds that are kind of like small enough that she can get into or whatever. And that's why she knows about them and she uses them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like these shops were cut out of the cliffside, but the cliffside has like porous holes in it. It's not traditional sewers or anything of that nature, but you know, you're a fucking wild one, so you've probably found weird
Yes.
shit in the caves.
Well, maybe you can show me around. I'll take a look.
She grins at him. Yes, I show you.
Okay. So while you go look at that, I'm gonna go look in some windows.
Alright.
Is that okay? Does anyone care?
I mean, did you still want me to shadow you, or?
Oh, great
Yeah.
and powerful leader.
Yes, let's just go with the power for our leader.
Oh, Goblin
Yeah,
of the
I think-
Lake,
I think-
grant us your wisdom.
Oh, Goblin
Oh,
of the
forget
Lake,
it.
grant us your wisdom.
Oh my god.
Please grant us your wisdom, oh great leader.
She grabs her big hammer. and steps out.
I'll take it as a yes.
And Bill will follow right after her.
Yeah. I wish to become invisible by being stealthy. Can I do that?
Senna's gonna go with the rogue.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a quick gander around and then follow where they head out to.
Okay. So you want to? Oh, God.
I was going to tell Blurg that, well, Blurg will notice that no matter how narrow the area she goes through is, Bill stays right behind her somehow.
Whoa.
But I mean, if you're used to bugbears, you'd realize that they could do that. But if you're not used to them, it's a bit disconcerting.
She's probably used to it. She has friends that are not human, so that's all in due course. But she leads them to these secret, somewhat shortcut hole places in the cliff sides.
Yeah, he'll be investigating them with you and kind of keeping a mental note of where they're located, see if there might be some sort of advantage of approaching that direction.
You know that there's likely some that coincide with, or at least you can assume there may be some that coincide with the customs house, but you know that it wouldn't be directly into the customs house. Pardon me. There's likely going to be some kind of flooring that separates whatever the cave structure is to the customs house.
Okay. Well, he's mostly seeing it as alternate routes of approach as well as alternate routes of escape. So he wasn't expecting that he'd be able to get directly inside, though hey, if we chanced upon something like that, bonus. And he's certainly not above tearing up floorboards if he has to. But he just mostly wants to know other ways to approach to try to evade attention.
Roger that.
So.
And then the other group is wanting to scout too.
Yes. So me and Senna, using message, I will fiddle with this earring that I have. It's a round copper earring, and I will talk to her directly and ask her. So I just want to do a quick scout around the building, kind of get a better layout. Do you think you can be silent with me, or do you want to watch my ass while I check out the area?
Question, DM.
Answer, daughter.
Hell yeah. Is there anybody like, if we like walk up to the front, right? Like obviously like a passersby walking by the front or whatever. Would I spot like anybody like essentially guarding the doors? Because I'm assuming this place isn't fucking unguarded.
Yeah, I mean, so on the left-hand side, well, just say if you're looking at the front of it, left-hand side, you have a customs office, which seems to be pretty typical. It's more for like check-in, check-out, like what are you importing, blah, 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 or exporting, so on and so forth. And then beside it, on the right-hand side, you have a very tall gated area. At least there's an external gate watched by a couple of guards on the outside. On the inside, you could tell that the warehouse itself is obviously separate from the gate. There's a little bit of a yard for like a crane to help with lifting any kind of larger boxes to like a secondary level. It's a pretty tall secondary level. It's not like a 1-story or anything like that. It would probably be about 2 or 3 stories equivalent. So it's a pretty tall second story, almost like a huge warehouse or barn. So the windows that you could see on the second story from the outside, this is all perfectly visible, are frosted. There is almost like if you've ever seen like the cranes that they have on docks, it's mostly wooden mechanical structures that kind of haul things up to the second story, but they have like this almost like loading platform on the second story, like this big open barn door-ish type area to the second story where they can actually load in that stuff from the crane. But the ground floor looks like it's mostly enclosed, doesn't look like any windows on the ground floor. And then you can only get a brief glimpse on the inside, but there are workers. It looks like, from what you could tell, there's probably more guards on the inside as well, as the workers are kind of moving stuff around.
Now, does it look like there's like you said like on the side that kind of goes towards the yard or whatever? Does it look like people are coming and going like at a kind of like a regular pace, or is it just like
the
is it,
workers
like,
themselves, or are you talking about
Yeah,
like
yeah,
other?
yeah, workers, guards, whatever? Like, are there people walking in and out of like? I guess like the.
I was gonna say it doesn't look like it's free access. Like,
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not expecting free access, but I'm like, are people? Is there like foot traffic? Like, are people kind of moving in and out, that kind of thing?
not super freely. You look to see like a lot of the foot traffic that is within the warehouse is fairly well contained. You don't see many people that are what can I say? Like, you don't see many people that are like going to the gate that's being guarded from the warehouse portion and just being let out that way easily. Like, they're just not like, hey, I'm done for the day, and then they just walk out and they're fine. It looks to be like most of the stuff, as far as admittance is concerned, is going through the office. So there might be some kind of method to that.
Okay. Either way, I'm gonna kind of position myself because I'm assuming that there's kind of like an open space, right? Where like, or like it's on like a street. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's on a relatively well, it's not like a major street. I would say it's probably a side street, but there's plenty of other businesses along there that you could just kind of casually walk by.
I'm gonna put myself kind of central, like not in the middle of the road, but kind of like on the side or whatever. And I'm gonna do the one thing I'm good at.
Dance.
Yes.
All right.
I love distractions.
So Atsena is going to take like a hand drum that was on her hip, and she's going to like pull the top off of it and kind of set it on the ground in front of her. So like she peels like not peels, but like pulls like the drum skin off and sets it down in front of her. Just kind of smiling, doing her usual bit, and with like a slow kind of building up, she's going to like slowly start twisting her wrists, and then her torso and her hips, building up momentum as the sound of what originally sounds like jingling coins kind of turns into a melody, as like her legs kind of come into it, and like the pants that look like leggings kind of billow out slightly into more like easiest way I can to kind of describe it is like you ever see like the kind of like the Indian belly dancer pants, like how they're long, like they cover their legs but they're rather like loose fitting.
Janies?
Yeah, thank you. That kind of thing. Again, all of the little like string, like chains and things, everything is adorned with coins at like specific intervals, and as she moves they kind of make a gentle kind of flowing melody as like rhythm as she starts to dance.
Okay, and you're trying to attract attention, correct?
Yes, to just get eyes on her.
Gotcha. Roll me that performance, please.
I love
Poggers.
this.
God, please
I
help
love
me.
this.
1. Nah.
16.
Oh, that's good. All right. Well, you start to attract a crowd. Like I would say that the guards don't necessarily leave their position, but they definitely look over your way. You're the ones that are outside in any case. Some of the workers who are on the other side of the fence, they start to take a break, and then they just kind of like walk over to like where you're at roughly, and you can hear them just start to like cheer and clap as you're doing your thing. And you're definitely drawing the attention, and nobody seems to be aggravated at it either. It seems to be like it's kind of a welcome reprieve from a lot of the work that they've been doing. So with that in mind, Morgan, if you are being a little sneaky beaky and you're wanting to take a look in that warehouse, I will give you advantage on stealth because of Bratty.
Yes, I very much like that. Thank you, my dear. So let's go. I didn't need advantage.
Hey, whatever.
However, dude, I'm invisifucking-bull.
That's funny. Hello.
Like, everyone's looking at her ass
Nice.
because my ass is gone.
Nice.
She's gone from the campaign. She doesn't exist anymore.
I nat 20, honey.
All right, I am going to, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to roll a d22. And as long as it's not a nat 20, it doesn't really matter. Okay, does not matter. You have a bunch of oblivious workers that are like, who the hell is that dancer? Oh my god. And they're just, a lot of them are filtering out. Some of them are fuddy-duddies, but honestly, the ones that don't come out are so focused on the ones that did go out, and they're pissed off at them because they're having to do more work, that they're not paying attention about the rogue who is basically the fucking wind passing through the warehouse.
I would like to make a note of any trappy stuff that I might see, just getting a good look at what looks valuable that could be pocketed, of course, but not now, but later. And I'd like to also keep an eye on for example, guard postings, if there's anyone that looks super strong that I should be aware of, anyone that gives me that I'm really strong, I'm gonna kill you vibe. Also want to look for an easy in and out access for this particular building. I'm gonna assume I can't get close to the little box, so I'm not even gonna try.
I'll give you a good overview of kind of what you see, because you kind of get relatively fair game over everything that's in here. So there's a handful of guards that are actually inside that are not just regular guards on the outside. You have what looks to be a very heavily armored individual. He's just like a human. He looks to have basically a two-handed sword on him as he kind of like walks around. Looks to be like he's got some kind of regalia on, as if he were the captain of the guards. And he is in like overwatch over pretty much everything. It looks like there is like a small room that he would inhabit for the most part. That's kind of like the guard room or the guard shack on the second floor. And there is like almost like a catwalk that overlooks the entire warehouse floor that you can tell that he mostly looks over. There are a few archers, one of them being an elf and another one being an orc that are kind of stationed on that catwalk as well. They're patrolling around. Of course, nothing seems to be giving them any kind of alert right now, so they're mostly just on kind of like a casual patrol.
Okay.
There are a few individuals on the floor. Looks to be like one of them is a dwarf. He is wearing some chainmail, kind of just perusing the warehouse floor in a relatively I guess sensical manner, where he's going through a specific pattern of going through some of the areas, taking a look, going back and taking a seat for a little bit, and then he goes back and makes sure just basically the workers in that particular area are doing their jobs. Not like he's a slave driver or anything, but he seems to have a pretty set pattern with how he's kind of patrolling the area. You also have a mage. It looks to be a mage, considering there's a very I guess it's got arcane robes on them. It's a tiefling that they are also kind of like in an Overwatch manner. He doesn't necessarily use the same patrol as the dwarf, but he's mostly on the floor. Sometimes he gets elevated and walks up to the catwalk on occasion, just as just in case there's more Overwatch that's needed from the top floor. And then you also have on the outside that you can tell is a hound master of sorts. There is another orc with what looks to be just a large dog, almost like an Irish wolf's hound, on the outside doing patrols just to see if obviously they can smell anything in particular that is kind of made its way in an unfamiliar area.
So was one orc? I didn't catch it.
So there's one orc who's basically like an archer on the catwalk with an elf, and
no, I mean with the before the dog guy.
Oh, it was a tiefling mage that tends
okay,
to make its rounds too.
Okay, cool. I'm making notes, as you can see.
Yeah.
And do I see any possibly trappy things or?
None that you can tell. You don't seem to see if there is any kind of like traps on the ground or anything like that. There seems to be probably not a lot of places for traps, just because there's a lot of moving parts that are happening almost on a consistent basis. You see a lot of crates that are moving around, so if they have anything relatively stationary, it would be pretty obvious, but you don't see anything that's like super stationary, because you don't want to put a trap down where a crate's going to be or anything. That's probably why they have everything so heavily guarded in here, because it's not like a super huge warehouse. But it would be if they had more stationary things instead of seemingly importing and exporting almost constantly, it would probably make sense to have a bit more traps, but it seems to be a very fluid warehouse. There are a few places that are a bit more particular, one of which looks like it is a side gated area within the warehouse, so it's almost like bars, so like more higher value items are stored there, some of which look like they are just art pieces that you would probably be fairly familiar with that look fairly expensive, but also you think you spot your crate in question there. The side area is locked up with multiple locks, but they seem to be something that you may be able to tackle, or at least someone with lockpicking could tackle.
Okay. I feel like I have done quite a bit of work, so I will rogue my ass out of there and send a little message to Udsena. Hey, beautiful, I think we're good. We can go now. And saunter my sorry ass away.
Alright, so you dip out one of the back entrances that a lot of the warehouse workers go through to kind of like take a break and whatnot, and you kind of very deftly hop a fence, get around to the front, and kind of like wait in one of the alleyways for Atsana to kind of finish up her performance.
Perfect.
Atsana, you actually get quite a bit of money. While they weren't necessarily attempting to like throw coins at you, they did tend to hit your bucket quite a few times with some extra cash. So you'll come out of this with some extra cash.
Oh yeah. As it gets kind of like, once she gets the message or whatever, she kind of picks up the pace a little bit, and then like legs kind of kicking out a little bit more than they were in large sweeping motions, and she kind of like rounds it all off with kind of a little bit of flair. She's gonna like basically like go from like swaying to using the momentum of her legs kicking out in like slow, kind of wide arcing like circles and arcs to a handstand, like on her hands, kind of like spinning. And if you're familiar with this, it's because it would be very similar to like capoeira, if you've ever seen that.
Yeah.
And like as she does like the big kind of like send off, I guess is the easiest way to put it, where she like spins on her hands. She comes to a stop, gives them a deep bow, little winded, but it's not something that she hasn't done God knows how many times at this point. She offers them a deep bow, thanks them for their time, and covers up her drum and goes on her way.
You definitely have an applause as you kind of wrap things up and exit, and you can hear as you're walking away, like, I wonder if she performs somewhere. We gotta find out who she is, and then obviously you're walking away and get a little bit of an ego boost, but that's probably something they really haven't seen much in especially in recent years. So it's a nice little show you gave.
Oh yeah.
Nice distraction.
That's what I'm good at.
I found a lot of shit.
QR code for tips.
Well, you can tell our valiant leader when you see her.
Oh, and the others, of course. And then she will fill in Adsena in the bits and bobs of what I've written down, so I didn't forget what she found as they walk along to meet up with the others.
Atsena is gonna like take one of the coins out of her thing and like toss it in the air for her.
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, I will snag it, pocket it, wink, and say, "Anytime, darling."
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Absolutely.
I would say while this is all going on, obviously, fucking Blurg and Bill are exploring trash crevices and other locations that could possibly be used to at least get in the general area, if not maybe escape. The dynamic stealthy / distracty duo did their part. Morton, you were probably gathering a bit of information around the area about where they hire people as far as like the workers are concerned.
Yeah, I think the idea here, because initially I think it was said that it was going to shadow like Morgan, so I think he did follow them all the way over there. But as soon as they started doing their thing, he kind of just they were vibing, they were doing their thing, they were like really successful, so he kind of just let them like do their thing. But in the meantime, I think he was probably part of the crowd that kind of like built up around Senna, and he's specifically looking for like if you recognize any of the workers there. Hopefully, like some of the people that he saw like exit the warehouse specifically.
Yeah, if you want to, I'd say roll for me just to see if you recognize any one of them. You can do like a investigation roll.
Investigation, gotcha. Oh Jesus! Okay, that's it went from a 5 to an 18, and it took like forever. Yes, that's a total of 21.
Shit, yeah. You definitely recognize a few of them. Jesus Christ. You recognize a few of them, a few of the dwarves who are generally pretty good people. They just, work for money at the warehouse to get by from time to time. And they're mostly on obviously the seaboard side of town, hanging out at a couple of taverns, and usually get pissed drunk quite regularly. But they're also sailors too, so. You can kind of speak their language easily.
Yeah. What was his name again?
The individual that you would know or recognize.
Yeah, the dwarf individual specifically.
Fuck. I will come up with a name here shortly. Beardsman? No.
Beardsman. All right. It doesn't really matter. I was just gonna like call them by name when I approach them. Was the idea?
No, it's probably like
Baird instead of beard. There you go.
Mike.
Mike's a dwarf.
Mike
Dude,
Beardman.
It's Magic Mike, dude.
That's funny, Mike.
We'll say his name is.
Hard.
We'll say his name is Ebic. It's yeah. It's EBBIK.
Epic.
Epic.
Epic. Epic.
Alright.
I like that.
Morden's gonna side up to him and kind of like sit in front of him without being invited. And he'll go, "Hey, bud, Epic, what's up, my guy?"
He'll just
I
be
think-
like, Morden?
Yeah, from the blood sale. Do you remember me?
It's been years.
It has, dude. It's been so long. It's
Do
quite a
you-
few things have changed.
Do you remember those nights we were taking ranch shots? It was, I don't understand what was going on, but we were just wasted and we decided to take ranch shots for no reason.
It was. I don't remember. Don't remind me about that, man. That was horrible. I was taking out like some of that stuff from my teeth like a week later, man. It was not a good time. But apart from that, how are you doing, man? You doing good?
Oh yeah, I'm trying my best to get by. Obviously, and looking for some more work on the seas, but I've got some solid work here at the warehouse.
Yeah, I've been hearing you're working at the Nick's Halo, Nox Halo place. That's the one.
Just say the
Words,
treasury.
English. Yeah, you work at the treasury, right? Like the big wigs, big old organization.
Well, I don't really work directly for them. I'm kind of outsourced for the time being. I've got some stuff I need to do for the house back on the other side of town. You know, steps to remodel, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I got to earn money
So-
somehow.
So look, listen. I don't know if you heard, but recently I've been looking to see the last guys I was running with, like party types. Just someone had a little bit of a falling out. Didn't really like it was like basically a change of leadership, but didn't really agree with the new way they were running things. So I decided to kind of like pull away from it, cut myself off, and potentially start my own crew. And I was thinking that you and I got a good relations, or you could help me out, maybe be like a first mate or something. So I think it's a bit it's a bit of a sad little time that you're stuck in a warehouse when let's be honest here, you're a sailor, you deserve to be on the seas, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd love to be back on the seas, but like, where are you getting the funds for this kind of stuff?
Don't worry about that one, especially after what we're about to suggest here. So, how attached are you to this little warehouse thing?
I mean, as long as I don't get caught. I mean, like whatever you're implying, I just don't want any trouble.
Don't worry. It's no strings attached, no nothing. All right. Essentially, if what I'm about to propose goes off, you won't have to work in any fucking shitty warehouse for like the rest of your goddamn life. You understand me?
Try to roll like a charisma. Are you actually trying to like persuade him or deceive him?
It's mostly deception at this point, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So deception. I should be good at this now that I've said that. Yup. It's a 10.
I hope I am good at this.
I mean, he's got a +5, but he just rolled like shit.
Okay, that's how I felt about mid dance.
he rolled higher. He's rolling insight to be like, I don't know. Listen, we've been in some jobs before, and I don't know. Like I feel like the last few times that we were palling around together, it wasn't just ranch shots that I was taking to the face, if you know what I'm saying. I think you led me down some pretty bad corridors, some bad hallways, and it didn't really end up too well.
Alright, like you can't ever gain anything if you don't stick your neck out. You gotta take some chances, you can take some risks. That's what I'm doing here, and that's what I'm here with you, man. Like, I'm working on something right now, and like if it pans out, not only am I going to be filthy rich, I'm gonna have my own boat, my own crew, could become like the next goddamn terror of the seas. And like what I'm offering here is that you could probably be part of that, be as rich as me, be as famous. We won't have to be spending entire years on land again.
Yeah, but what are you wanting me to do? I don't know. Like if
All I want is an inn. That's it. Nothing, no info, no nothing, no No, like lying to higher ups. No, nothing. I just want to know. That's it. You know, you leave a gate unlocked. Maybe show me around the back door. That's all you need.
Listen, if you're caught, I don't know anything, and you are, they can kill you. Just letting you know that right now, they can kill you.
Oh, I know they can, and they're gonna try. But it doesn't matter because you're not tied to this in any way.
Grease the palms, and I'll do it.
Absolutely, he's gonna give like all of his remaining gold, which is not much.
Okay. How
Like,
how much
He
gold?
probably has like 15 gold left, like at most.
I gotcha. All right. Yeah. If you give him that, he will leave. He will leave one of the doors open before he leaves for the night.
Okay, like let's say like rogues start with a short bow. I'm gonna say he sold it because of how fucking broke he was,
Okay.
and it's 25 gold, but he only got 15 for it because he was selling it. So this is
Yeah.
it. I'm dead ass removing my short bow from my inventory. I
Okay.
don't have that.
Okay. That's fair. That's dedication.
So look, take this as a down payment, and this is an investment. It's gonna be multiplied like 20-fold at least.
It's like, all right. Well, I'm counting on you. Like I said, I don't know anything.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Have a good day.
You too, man. Stay away from those ranch shots.
Never. Nebik just walks away.
Epic.
His name is Epic.
Epic. It's a traditional seaboard dwarf name.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Yeah.
Sorry, what do you say he was gonna do again? He was gonna open up something.
Yeah,
Leave the
he'll
door.
leave one of the doors unlocked, so it's a little
Gotcha,
bit easier to
gotcha.
get in. So yeah, I would say that take this time. We'll go ahead and wrap it up a little bit. I know it's only been a couple hours, but it's about 2.5 hours we played it for. Come together with what you think is probably going to be the best possible attack pattern. You could use the chat, Stinky's dirt pile, in order to kind of like forge that if you have anything in particular. We'll kind of wrap it up for the time being, and then I'll get another one scheduled, and we'll do the heist.
Oh yeah.
What could
We're gonna
possibly
steal-
go wrong?
We're gonna steal all the things, guys.
And no
all the
one's gonna
things.
die.
Yeah.
That's right, and no one's gonna even see us, and then we can smash on our way out. A good
Except that
smash.
one human who's gonna die.
Hey,
That's
Frank,
it.
We're not gonna tell our
Phrasing.
fearless leader that there's a human. We're just gonna say there's a not elf in there. That's what we're gonna do.
There's a universe out here where like this all goes off without a hitch, and the only one that dies is that fucking human.
Yeah.
God.
That's-
This is probably not that this universe, but it would be fun.
The human is the only one with like an elderly grandma whose medical bills he's trying to pay.
Yeah, he's got like 5 kids, and they're all like needing to go to college, and he's got the one daughter is like a star pupil who sings in the fucking chorus, and oh my god.
And now she's gonna have to be a stripper to pay for medical school.
Yeah. How is she gonna get through medical school now, Blurg? Why would you do that to her?
Blur's just like, you shouldn't have been born a fucking human, I guess. Wrong coin flick, bitch.
You didn't pick that. Her dad did. You should kill your dad for that.
You ain't born green, fucking die.
I'm not
I mean,
born.
I'm
I
not
wasn't born green.
I was say I'm not green.
I mean, technically me neither, but
Blurg is
That's
my
alright.
leader.
It's very, very odd leadership qualities.
Hey, you know what? Nobody said the leader has to be fucking smart. They just have to be charismatic, and I hope to God Blurg is.
Oh
Um,
no!
Um,
Oh
Is
no!
now.
I mean, it's not about being charismatic. It's about like like just doing. It's about leading the way forward.
It's funny
Stop trying
because
to apply logic to this, Arm.
you all just have her as an appointed figurehead, but you all make the leader around her, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. We literally make the decisions as if it's her. You
Yeah.
know?
It's
That
one of
was
the.
the whole thought in this. I just want you to know I love you. I hope you're okay with me just voluntolding you. You're the leader. Enjoy.
Oh,
Lord
yeah.
is being gaslit into believing.
You're the leader now. Which
Gaslight, skull crush, girl boss. It fucking worked out.
But it's a projected gaslighting.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh shit. Well, this was fun. I thank you all for showing up. I know it's not a lot at a time, but we'll do it again for sure. Because
Hey,
like
one of these
had
days,
fun,
we'll-
thank you.
You know what? All that matters is that we have fun, and then these like 2.5 hour sessions are the gateway drug to the 6 hour session.
yeah, and it'll
God,
become
I would
longer
die.
if we get
But
into
you wouldn't if
combat.
you find Mori.
If we get into combat and do more tactical stuff, it's always going to take a little bit longer, but we'll try to start like if it's this solid group, depending on how soon like Serpent can start, which I assume is a lot sooner than what we normally play at. We'll start sooner and then we can play a little bit longer too.
I mean, I have fun either way. Mori knows this.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, no.
I'm just a slut for long sessions.
But we'll play this. So what I'll say this is, this we're kind of I'll say we're kind of time traveling with this particular side story. So this will establish some of your characters, and then once this is done, if we wanted to incorporate some of these characters into other things that are currently happening in like on the other side of the world, we'll do so. That
I'll work
will.
on Adsena's like story a bit more, and I'll like DM you this stuff so that way you can
Yeah.
have her incorporated more. Also, I agree with Epic in the chat. Next time Epic shows up, he has to be the voice.
Yeah.
That's right.
Listen, it was late. If I wanted to sound like Epic, I would have to down ranch shots and then tell everyone that like fucking, I don't know, Qdoba or some shit is peak Mexican food.
Oh,
Whatever
I didn't even,
gross shit he says.
I didn't even get that fucking reference.
God damn it, so.
Yeah, you said Epic. I was like, my brain just went like, yeah, that's just his name. It's just Epic Lolix, dude.
God damn it.
Look, I'm fucking tired, man.
You did say you had post-work brain.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I always have brain rot, so.
Yeah, I worked today too. It was the pits. So much work today. It was awful.
It's okay. I love both of you.
I'll try to get something
I love you
scheduled
too,
soon.
Brady.
Zarm, you have tomorrow off, right?
Yes, I have for the entire weekend off.
Do you have
Hey.
DD tomorrow?
I do at 5 p.m.
Alright.
Baldur's Gate after?
Give me a few. I'll be back here in a second, but I'm gonna close down stream. So
Yeah, no
you,
Bye, stream.
you all have a yes, thank you. You can stay put.
Love
if you
you,
want. I'll-
chat.
Oh god.
Bye, bye, chat. We love you.
Mwah.
Alright, nerds. Thank you all for stopping by and having fun and watching. It was super cool. I'm gonna go ahead and close stream. I'm gonna get more and more games scheduled. More VAs. I probably will. I'm just tired right now. God, I was tired coming into this, but I wanted to run it. It's been so long. It's been about 2 months, and I miss running these games, and I miss having fun with you all. So it's gonna happen more and more. I just need to sit down and find some good scheduling for everybody. So stay tuned. Thank you all for showing up, following, loving, all that good fun stuff. I do plan on running more. I know, demo. I know. We're gonna get our main storylines back up and running too. So I will see you all soon. I don't know if I'm streaming tomorrow, but if I do, I'll see you around. If not, awesome. Pay attention in Discord. We'll get more shit scheduled, I promise. And then I will feed your addictions. Okay, everyone have a good night. Goodbye.